Today in the crypto space, we see the market still going sideways, Bitcoin at about 26,000 and Ethereum still around that $1,600 mark. The rest of the crypto space, the altcoins are pretty much doing the same thing, following Bitcoin's lead. However, guys, some of these altcoins are definitely getting some volatility. Today's video is all about Taraxa. So you know what? Let's talk about the news, let's analyze the charts, and let's strategize to capitalize. Welcome to the channel. My name is Mike, and let's get right into it, guys. If you're new to the channel, welcome on the channel. We talk about cryptocurrency, Bitcoin, Ethereum, and all the altcoins, looking for opportunities. Whether we go up or down, bearish or bullish, all we want to do is stay one step ahead of the market so that we can capitalize on any of that volatility. If you appreciate that strategy, subscribe to the channel and click the bell so you don't miss out on any of my future videos, including the live streams at 7:30 Eastern, where we talk about crypto news and price action. Guys, if you have any projects that you are interested in covering on the channel, feel free to let me know in the comment section below. You can hit me up on those socials. The links are in the description. And of course, guys, join the Discord. It's a great community. Lots of good alpha being talked about on a daily basis. Trade setups, fundamentals, and all that good stuff. All right, guys, what do we see today in the market? Guys, we see a little bit of sideways price action. That's the reality. Sideways is of the agenda in the last little while. However, guys, staying one step ahead of the market also includes keeping an eye on some of these newer projects, meaning not the newest, just ones that are showing some good momentum, some good interest in the market, and that maybe haven't even had a bull run just yet. In my book, getting a fresh, round of hype is obviously something that we have to watch out for. And for me, it is an indication that the project could be new. In this case, getting fresh, new volume is very important. So this is why I want to cover Taraxa. Right now, Taraxa did reach a little bit of a bottom. It is getting a little bit of a bounce in the last little while. 26% to the upside, guys. We're going to talk about Taraxa in a second, but I definitely want to take a look at the general market quickly, so that we can get a bit of an idea of what's happening here. Just a quick swipe through. We see that the typical players in the last little while, Tron and Altcoin, still looking good. The rest of the market, you can see, is still going sideways, giving us plenty of opportunities to buy dips. And we see Ethereum Classic coming down a little bit, but slowly grinding to the downside. OKB coming down a bit. We have Mantle finally waking up just a little bit, only 2.8% though. But the structure, the actual breakout is beautiful. Near Protocol holding up pretty strong. Optimism getting a bit of a pullback. So we're seeing negativity throughout the market. Still some negativity. Algorand holding up, desperately trying to get to higher levels, guys. I'm hoping that a lot of these layer ones get a bit of bullishness very soon. Kaspa coming down, guys, 2.5% more to the downside. Kaspa bleeding out. Guys, be very patient with Kaspa. Be very patient with Render. Be very patient with a lot of these tokens that are rolling over. And especially understand that some of the projects that are currently rallying up are going against big trends, right? Big picture market trends. And this is a very dangerous thing to get super or overly bullish right now in this market. Okay, so we do see Bitcoin giving us an indication. We see a lot of these altcoins giving us this indication that the overall market is looking for a retracement. Rollbit is looking good, up 17%. Guys, it came from range lows, now creating a higher high. This is really healthy. We see Render, dipping down, still kind of hesitant, doing its thing. So Rollbit right now is on my radar. Obviously, Rollbit is on my radar. I'm looking for those retracements. I'm looking for those great buy opportunities. Radix is as well, bottom of the range type of thing, looking for that support. We also have, what else do we have? Good pullback. Store Chain pulling back just a little bit, but up 2.5%, give or take. We see that rounded off type of scenario, lower lows, lower highs type of thing. As soon as we get signs of support, that's when we start getting in. Sui finally taking a bit of a dip, more of a dip than usual. Maybe we break a bit of structure. So far, it's still higher highs and higher lows. If you look at it, it could be getting a bounce very soon. So expect a bit of relief, perhaps. If you want me to cover Sui or any other project in future videos, feel free to let me know. And better yet, join the Discord. You can make your requests there. You can join the community. And today, I begin my research on a deep dive. What that means is I pick a project that is pretty popular and being spoken about quite a bit lately, and what I do is I basically dig deep. I start doing research about the team, about the fundamentals, the tokenomics. I go on the website, I go on the white papers. I basically pick it apart to try to see if this project is worthy of our capital. And of course, the last one I did, was it the last one? 4 days ago, I did Taraxa, deep dive. What is it? Guys, if you're interested in Taraxa, this is the video for you. You got to go and check it out because it will tell you exactly what this project is about, you know, what some of the value propositions are and why you should be considering Taraxa or maybe not considering Taraxa. Go check it out. The best thing to do right now is to be fundamentally bullish and do your research, guys. Make sure you do that. So Taraxa right here if you're interested in it. But however, guys, you know, a lot of this market is going sideways and there are plenty of opportunities to actually scale in on the cheap. So this is why here on the channel, we don't mind bearish or bullish. We need to have a plan. All right, guys, I know you're here to talk about charts. So let's begin our analysis. Let's talk about Bitcoin first, quickly, and then we'll go take a look at that chart. You saw that Taraxa move to the upside. Guys, this market right now is looking quite interesting. However, we got to keep it in perspective. Bitcoin is still ranging. Bitcoin could still fake us out and come down for another dip and sweep the lows, which means that the altcoin market could also come down with it. And that means that even bullish projects could be getting a short-term dip to the downside. Now, I'm not saying that the ones that are going rogue, like Taraxa, currently going rogue, doing its own thing, disrespecting Bitcoin and all its momentum, it doesn't mean that it's going to pull back. What it means is expect Bitcoin to have an influence on it, maybe hold it back a little bit, maybe get a bit of an ebb and flow, a little bit of a dip, and then a continuation up. Guys, we have to pay attention to the fact that some of these altcoins are going to go and do their own thing, especially while Bitcoin shows us an indication of sideways action. Big picture, within a range, maybe double top, double bottom. Small picture, meaning short term, a little bit of a range right here as well. Maybe altcoins, some altcoins might be popping off while we see Bitcoin go sideways within this level. Okay, so we're going to keep an eye on Bitcoin. There's nothing much to be said here other than double top, double bottom, range bound perhaps. If we break down, guys, expect lower levels. I don't think that it's going to happen, especially now after a couple of days of seeing the momentum in oversold conditions on the daily. So for me, Bitcoin could be getting a bit of relief to the upside any moment now. It could be that we get a liquidity sweep at lower levels. Look at the volume here, or even the RSI. It could be coming down for a confirmation low, a higher low, and the MACD looks like it's preparing for that as well, but it could be looking for a fake out. You can see that a lot of the times when we get to the zone where we get the EMA cross, sometimes we get those fake outs. So this could be in the works right now to get people wrecked and then finally get a little bit of relief to the upside to hit approximately $29,000, give or take. So you can see there's a volume gap. I would be prepared to take a bit of profits at the top of this level, which is at about 28,835. Bottom of this volume gap that, you know, for me was an important level overall. Okay, so let's pay attention to Bitcoin, but more so, let's pay attention to some of these altcoins that are showing some great potential. Okay, let's continue. Let's take a look at this. What is happening with Taraxa, guys? Taraxa is on fire. You just kind of woke up and doing its thing. It blew up to the upside. Now you can see that in the short term on the 4 hour, this thing is looking absolutely great. If you look at the TA that we've been covering, okay, I did look at this as a potential descending wedge. I put the spider line in just to say, like, you know, it could be a potential scenario. We then went sideways for a little bit. We came down and back tested with the RSI and got into a very oversold scenario. Now, you know, here on the channel, I DCA quite a bit. I talk about the DCA strategy. I use horizontals as best as I can to snipe great entries. I use Fibonacci. I use quite a bit of TA here to actually try my best to get the best entries. And you can see currently I have my 3 arrows in here, 3 green arrows, one here, and one down here. 3 entries, 3 DCA opportunities. Now in this case, if you were able to, even if you were able to get an entry right around here, you're in profit right now. Okay, if you were able to get an entry right here at the pretty much absolute bottom, you are in profit right now. So the reality is, even if you DCA'd within these 2 buy orders, let's say your average position right now is right in the middle. Okay, let's say it's right in the middle. Technically, what you should be doing as it comes down, as you DCA, what you should be doing is doubling down, increasing your position size, increasing the amount in your bag. That way you can drag your average cost down. So what I'm trying to say right now, let's kind of put this in a trade setup scenario. Let's say your entry was right around here, but because you went in harder as it was coming down, let's give it a little bit more to the downside, your risk to reward ratio starts to improve. Now let's forget risk to reward for a second, okay? Because at the end of the day, we did get a nice little bounce here, but you can see that where we are right now, currently, we are on our way to the upside. So right now, you should be in some profits. You should be in at least, you're looking at 20%, if not more, 24% profit, give or take, 20 to 24% profit as we are right now. So this is really good. Now, what should you be doing in the short term? Before we do that, before we get into a plan of TP, we have to consider a couple of things. Number one, Bitcoin is not showing us much strength, and that could be a signal that big altcoins one by one might be popping off, which is good because Bitcoin is going sideways. But as soon as Bitcoin gets a relief to the upside, it could be that some of these altcoins also rally up with Bitcoin, or people take profits and put them in Bitcoin because Bitcoin is outperforming. So regardless, I think you're in a good position if you did get an entry right around this area, DCA'd in this zone. And that way now you're definitely in some profits. As a swing trader, I look at the daily. So let's begin. I look at the daily to give me an indication of what could be happening in the short term. I did expect a bit of a touch here. I did expect the EMAs to get a bit of a bounce. I honestly felt that we would get it right around the zone. But you know how the market is. There's no guarantees of anything. And we came down for another leg to the downside here on the daily. You can see that. Now, but we did not get fully reset to oversold conditions. So this is for me a little bit of basically watch out. Basically, I'm saying watch out. Because at the end of the day, although this is a very bullish engulfing candle, extremely bullish engulfing candle, we could definitely get a railroad track type of scenario. So what I really want to bring to your attention is that we have this zone right here where a lot of people probably got wrecked and are probably putting some sort of stop loss or some sort of measure in this place to protect it, right? Because we got a little bit of a place of liquidity where people got wrecked and both went short, and they're putting stop losses in here. As soon as stop losses get triggered, we could definitely come down to lower levels. So what we got to do here now is understand that the daily is giving us a little bit of a bounce against the trend. So we're getting a bounce up, fine, but the trend and the momentum is still down. We got to be clear about that. The MACD, yes, it looks healthy. We're getting a pale pink histogram bar. It's the first one on the daily. Within the daily time frame, as these clusters build, we do get lots of volatility in between on the 4-hour. That could definitely bring the price almost equally as low as it was. So we got to be prepared for that. I'm not saying it's going to happen, but be prepared. Now, in this case, we didn't even get an EMA cross to the upside, so it's still fair to say that this lagging indicator could show us a bit more bearishness in the short term. However, look at this candle, guys. What do we do right now? We're in some profits, 20% to the upside. We're talking about double-digit gains, okay? So this is important. Double-digit gains. This is the time not to be greedy if you were able to get in at this DCA entry. Now, back to the 4-hour here, guys. I feel like the 4-hour did an amazing job here giving us that entry. It did give us a double bottom. It did give us a bit of a fake out. People might have got wrecked with the stop loss right here. It's okay. The most important part is to see when it resets again to get back in. This is the important aspect. You take away 10%. Say let's say you lost a few percent of your portfolio. Okay, let's say you lost a few percent, not even 10%. You're looking at on spot, even if it's a little bit. You had your risk to reward. You lost a little bit. Your entry was, right around here. You lost 4 or 5%. No big deal. Okay, fine. I know it's a little bit hefty, but when you're talking about spot, it's not the worst, right? So then you come down here and you start doing the same thing. You start saying, let's double in, let's double down, let's get in with a little bit more capital than here, and then all of a sudden you're in a better scenario. Or you could have DCA'd and get an average position right in the middle, more or less, like I explained previously. So that's the takeaway here, is that every time you get faked out, it's very hard to time the bottom. But when you try to time the bottom as best as you can, the likelihood of it getting a full-on bigger swing, unless there's a capitulation event or some sort of black swan or negative news or something like that, the likelihood of it getting a bigger move to the downside is a lot lower. Why? Because you have everything else in confluence telling you that the bottom is over, right? The bottom is here. And if the bottom was here and we got a little bit of an oversold type of scenario, the likelihood of it coming down even further starts to diminish. And this is what we're looking at right here. We see that the momentum is pretty much double bottom, and the price action is creating a lower low. Nice divergence to the upside. Nice, not really some good support here, but nonetheless, it is good. It is good. Now, did we break a bit of structure? We are attempting to break structure as we speak above this high. If we break above this high, we are currently creating higher highs. That is the beginning. So we need to really understand that this zone is actually the most important zone to pay attention to. If we break above or get close to it, I would suggest taking a bit of profit. Now, I know here on the channel, I'm very bullish all the time, but at the end of the day, this is the time with your double-digit gains. Again, I'm going to get the measurement tool out, is to prepare yourself. Like, again, if you got your entry right around here, let's say in the mid zone, and you're happen to even get out right as close as possible to this, you're talking about 25% with a bit of leverage or no leverage at all. 25% outperforms all financial institutions with regards to rewards. Okay, so let's be real about that. Okay, so that's not bad. On the daily, I still feel, remember the daily, that the daily is looking for a full reset to oversold conditions. This momentum right now is going against the daily. So you're basically trading against the bigger trend. So be careful. Okay, so be very careful. I do feel like we could get into a little bit more of a overbought condition on the 4 hour, a little bit more, maybe not as high as this one, because you can see we're contracting. The oversold condition is not as deep as previous dips, but the overbought should be the same, not very high. Okay, so be careful. The MACD is looking bullish, EMA is facing up, green histogram bars to the upside, great momentum. But again, this white line, I'm going to make it a bit thicker. This white line right now is the zone to watch out for. If we break above, that would be absolutely healthy. We break above, take a bit of profit, guys, because at the end of the day, we could backtest and get a higher low. Higher highs, higher lows. This is when you start anticipating a trend reversal or even a trend reversal pattern. So let's say we come up to this level. We could get rejected, come back down, get some support here once again, come right back up, test the neckline, and break out of this inverse head and shoulder, right? That could be an option. What else do we got? Let's say we have enough bullish strength, bullish momentum to actually break above. Fine. We come up, we back test, we continue to get support here as a back test, previous resistance now acting as support, then continue here, and we start creating not only a higher high, but potentially a higher low. Who knows how low this will go, but higher highs, higher lows, trend is your friend, up to the upside. And if you look at this, it starts to look like, you know, perhaps a nice pivot point. Bullish divergence, not very a strong sign of bullish divergence, but there is. And then that follow through with the higher low. Higher highs, higher lows, trend is your friend. And this is the thing here, guys. We could be waiting for a confirmation low, right? You don't have to get in if you're on the sidelines and you miss this pump. I wouldn't be getting into a green pump right now. The reality is on the 4 hour, we're getting to that bought condition. We're almost there. To give it a couple hours more and another 4 hours, and it's very likely that you'll see this RSI into overbought conditions, and that's when you'll probably see a bit of reactions. In my opinion, you should be protecting capital. Trail up the stop loss at minimum break even and take a bit of profits on your double-digit gains. This is the time to celebrate some profit taking. Okay, that's the reality. Nobody has ever gone broke taking profit. Yes, this thing could continue to the upside. That's why you trail up the stop loss and leave some of your position in the game. However, take profit is always the best strategy. All right, guys, thank you for stopping by. If you haven't, do the channel a huge favor and slap that like button. It does really help out with the algorithm. And of course, join the Discord, guys. The Discord is a great community, lots of alpha, deep dives are posted, trade setups, all kinds of stuff. Follow me on the socials. The links are in the description, but better yet, join me live at 7:30 Eastern, where I talk about crypto news and price action. Take care, guys. Have a good one. And don't forget, buy the dip.